Assalamu alaikum, dear students. I hope that you're fine and enjoying your studies. I'm Zardash with final lecture on language teaching approaches and methods. Of course, this is not the final lecture of this course. There will be more lectures on our next topic. But so far as language teaching methods and approaches are concerned, so this one is the final one. I'm going to conclude and provide you future or I will provide you insights and future guidelines so far as your language teaching careers are concerned. So so far you have been provided lectures on all the language teaching approaches and methods which are part of your course, and I hope that you have much more awareness about them at this stage. So soon in future you will be in positions to decide various tools and methods for your students, and you will be using this knowledge to help you and assist you, and this way you will be building your future classrooms. So that's why I decided to come up with this topic, incorporation of technology into language teaching, especially so far as your methods and approaches are concerned. So this lecture is basically going to focus on how important it is to incorporate technology into your methods, into your classrooms. And this lecture, I'm going to guide you. I'm going to motivate you how you can do this task, although it seems difficult apparently, but believe me that it is not. It's just our shyness, or in other ways our you may say our less enthusiastic attitude towards use of technology, or we have a kind of fear that we won't be able to access technology, and our students won't be able to access technology, and so we then go back to our old ways. So you have to leave this attitude, you have to change it. All of us have to, because world is changing rapidly, and the changing world is actually using technological tools more than ever, because these tools, they provide uh, more than what we can say that they provide. They can achieve the learning objectives more than any other ways. So I have listed some of the benefits of incorporation of technology. First one is that positive learning, positive transfer of learning is possible. They are as you know that nowadays children, even the children at primary levels, they have access to technology so far as cell phones are concerned and internet is concerned. And our children, they have access to technology we never had when we were kids. So you can see the pace of technological advancement of our societies. So I guess in future they will be just more than what we are seeing right now. So students, learners, young learners, they in fact they value technology most of all over books even. So we'll have to make our classrooms digital if we wish to succeed, if we wish to achieve our learning objectives, if we wish to capture their attention. So if you will bring technology into your classroom, you will be able to capture their attention, and you will be able to stimulate their learning there, and this in this technological the advancement or tech classroom, they will provide very clear image of concepts and learning, and they will increase our students' understanding and their retention. They will be in a better position to, in fact, they'll enjoy their learning. They'll spend more time on learning, and their understanding and retention will increase. So, as you know that these there are various tools that can help you with this goal. There are tools and there are resources available at our institutions, so they all can help us. So let me tell you one thing. It often comes to our mind that we lack infrastructure, our institutions won't provide us autonomy, we won't be able to just realize our those perfect classrooms in our country. So let me tell you that although it seems a valid argument, but it is not entirely valid, because everything is in your hand. You can build whatever you wish to, but for that purpose, we'll have to put some efforts. For instance, we just shouldn't idealize things. We can use the infrastructure which is available to us. For instance, each and every institution, they have computer labs, and plus if you come up with valid arguments, and if you try to convince your organization, you can convince them to provide certain things uh, and for certain things and infrastructure which is required to realize those uh, technologically advanced classrooms. So everything is possible, and as you are the young people of Pakistan, you have to play your role. In fact, this is going to be your responsibility in future, that how much you are playing your role in the advancement and betterment of your country. And as your field is education, so your role in the betterment and advancement of education. So if you won't play your role, if you won't fight, if you won't come up with ideas and arguments to implement those ideas, then you're doing nothing. So sometimes our laziness and our fear and our sluggishness, it just drags us back to the old ways, rather than, because so far as innovation is concerned, it requires much courage and hard work and much more than that. So as you are the students of final semester, you yourself should think that you have spent you have spent some 4 years of 4 years of learning in this institution. So what you have contributed so far. So you should look at your contributions right now. If you have nothing, if you have contributed nothing, for instance, you have provided nothing new models or something or approaches and something like that, then you have to start doing this right now. You should see that you have to contribute as well. Only in this way we will be able to develop and come up with a new model. All of the time I have seen that young people, they complain. For instance, they say that our education system is not good, it is not well enough. But my point of view is that, my philosophy is that the young people, those who are complaining, they should play their part. They should do something. They should ask themselves that how they are participating, how much they are doing to improve the system. If you won't help the system will stay the same. And in order to help the system, we'll have to come up with new ideas. Not only we'll have to come up with new ideas, we'll have to come up with solid ideas. Then we'll have to convince the authorities, and then we'll have resources, the resources that we require. So nothing is just perfect, and and we simply can't idealize a perfect environment where we can work. We'll have to make things perfect for us first, and then we'll have the fruit or the results that we wish for. So in this lecture, I'm going to provide you some video clips on how modern schools, they are incorporating technology, and how they are working, although they have limited resources. Plus, I'll provide you some examples of modern schools, how they are establishing their modern classrooms. We can do the same. All we have to do is to stick to our plans, and most of all all of us, all of you will have to play your part. So we should be saying how much we are providing, how much we are playing our role. So I won't lecture, rather I'll show you things. First of all, I'll provide you some video clips on various educational systems, examples, etc. Some of them are from World Economic Forum, the rest are from other sources. And especially there will be a concept of education 4.0. As you know that this is the fourth industrial revolution, so education is going to revolutionize too, and the element which is going to revolutionize education is technology. And as you're going to be future educators, so you have to be aware of it, and you'll have to equip yourself for this rapidly changing world. And let me tell you that, as I have told you earlier, that you are the youth of this country, and the development of education sector depends a lot on you. It is high time that you come out of your books and start thinking about your contributions. And if you have done nothing yet, then you'll have to do something soon enough. So first I'll provide you some videos on various education systems and innovations. Then I have a short video clip of 10 minutes on various online tools that can help you that can help you build a technologically advanced classroom. So first have a look at these video clips that are providing you a glimpse of future classrooms, and also some examples from other countries, how they are building their learning environments. So have a look, and then I'll provide you a review and the next topic, which is going to be online tools that you can incorporate into your teaching methods. So let's have a look.
I remember the teacher talked and we listened. We had to memorize quite a lot too. A lot of time was spent giving out books and collecting them up again. We were sitting in rows in desks so we could see the board better, because talk and chalk was the way.
There must be an industrial revolution in education, in which educational science and the ingenuity of educational technology combine to modernize the grossly inefficient and clumsy procedures of conventional education. Sidney L. Pressay, 1924.
These young people are studying in a new way.
A computing calculator designed for use in high school classrooms has created tremendous excitement.
The tool which has made this possible is the high-speed digital computer operating with electronic precision on great quantities of information.
If we think about the third industrial revolution, that was PCs and the internet, and we just about caught up with that. The fourth industrial revolution is what becomes possible from those technologies.
Industry 4.0 is the next big shift in the way that manufacturing operates. Digital know-how is going to be hugely important, and then people will need to be flexible because the world will change.
The future workplace and future societies, we're still moulding them as we go, and technology is one of the main pillars in what is shaping what the future will look like.
The pace of change is remarkable, with the introduction of these exponential technologies creating a paradigm shift to create Education 4.0.
Lectures aren't fit for purpose anymore. Using textbooks and teaching in a Victorian sort of method with rows of students, listening to the teacher, taking notes, it's obsolete. We need to use our time in lessons to actually have those meaningful mentoring one-to-ones that can never be replaced. The technology gives us that time if we use it correctly.
Rather than being something that's scary, we can use technology to be something that's very liberating for people, so that instead of having to go through the rigmarole of institutional learning as it's been in the past, we can actually use smart robotics, smart computers to make learning more accessible to more people and to actually tailor it to individual needs.
This whole cluster of AI technologies will make learning for students more rewarding, teaching for academics more rewarding. We want it to be a win for everybody.
We've shown already in clinical studies and trials that retention is up to 70% higher in virtual reality. That has a huge impact on learning and retention of facts.
The challenge is for universities to really develop their students' digital skills so that they can actually make use of those skills in the workplace. It would be all too easy to say everyone must learn to code. But the truth is, coding is just one digital skill.
Creativity, collaboration, communication, critical thinking, these skills that can never be automated, that can never be replaced, are what we need to focus on.
Education 4.0 is a request to the education sector to rethink the educational paradigm. And it's an opportunity for us as this fourth industrial revolution kicks off to think about what modern education should look like. We now live in a hyper-connected world, and now the time, more than ever, the time is for us to say, what do we want to do with that?
It's a tragedy that as the world outside school changes faster and faster, the majority of American kids are not being set up to succeed in the future that's coming. We're entering a world where there's not a lot of value on just kind of sitting there and doing what you're told. Increasingly, a computer could do that kind of stuff. We are eventually going to create a new model of education suited to the 21st century instead of the last half of the 19th century. This is going to happen. We're just trying to make it happen sooner. My name is Max Ventilla, and I'm the founder and CEO of AltSchool. Working in Silicon Valley and being at Google and, living here, it's kind of impossible not to have it shape your worldview and to believe that a mission-driven technology company can have an incredible impact beneficially on the world. And being a parent of young kids, there's really nothing I can think of that is more important than their education that I can be working on. As an entrepreneur, you have that startup bug. You need to work on something that catches you, and this was the thing that caught me. There's this problem, which is that the model that we have for educating kids, it is a mass production model. It's a factory model. It doesn't provide an individualized experience to kind of anybody. Every 45 minutes, kids switch to a different subject, and they open a textbook and they read the next chapter, and at the end of the week, they take a quiz. That experience is teaching kids how to think like computers, and that's not going to be very valuable when these kids actually grow up to be adults. If you're trying to fundamentally transform the education experience, that is not something that you can just kind of whiteboard with a bunch of research and a bunch of smart people in a room somewhere. You have to learn what that model looks like. For us, that meant immediately, almost from starting the company, opening a school. And then we opened 3 more schools, and then we opened 3 more schools, and now we're opening 2 more schools that are focused on personalized education. each child defines their own experience, to learn in a way that feels natural, takes advantage of their curiosity, and that doesn't try and corral them to learn this thing right now in this way. And that's where technology plays a foundational role versus a superficial role. There are two tools that fundamentally enable personalization in our schools. One tool is called the portrait. So this is a representation of, all the things that are important about each child that different people can add to for curating a day-to-day education experience that's going to meet them where they are. That maps to a second tool which we call the playlist, which is the kind of scaffold for each child's day. It's a to-do list and a calendar. It allows each child to decide, what order they do things, or they can decide what's on that playlist as they get older. It's allowing a child to have agency. None of us like being told what we need to do, when, where, how, with whom. There's nothing that's more demotivating than that. And if you're not motivated, you don't actually learn. There's no way to force a kid to learn. They have to actually go along with a certain experience. They have to actually think. What we see is incredibly promising out of the gates in the first few years. We're seeing much more than a year's worth of progress on kind of nationally normed tests. But as importantly, they're making progress on the social emotional pillars, things like grit, ability to work with others, ability to manage your time, to set goals that are going to serve those kids critically when they enter a world that's going to demand those kind of characteristics from them. I mean, my daughter's going to have a different life because this is the kind of school that she went to. And I love this Bill Gates quote that humans tend to overestimate what we can accomplish in a year and underestimate what we can accomplish in 10. First year probably costs us $100,000 per student. The next year, it's like $60,000. The next year, it's like $35,000. This coming year, it's like $25,000. I think that when you get down to about $15,000 per student, now you're in the realm of the kind of median experience in lots of parts of America. There are lots of public school districts that spend way more than that on average. We're starting to say, okay, how do we take the platform that we use to support our own schools, and how do we expand that platform with partners? We're just starting to work with the first set of partners who would open schools which aren't run by us. It's on that path that eventually you get to what you want. A new ecosystem where all schools, existing schools and new schools, are able to take advantage of a kind of new way to educate kids for the future. There's literally a technology company, behind their school working tirelessly. That's the kind of 10-year future that we believe is possible. In general, a startup is hard. In general, a startup takes a long time. One that's trying to do something this ambitious in this space, that's twice as true, 10 times as true. This is mile 3 of a marathon, and I feel good.
The world is experiencing a pretty dramatic skills gap. More than 50% of U.S. college graduates are unemployed or underemployed a year after they graduate.
We have a real problem today with the relevance of the experience for many of our students. It's not directly tied to the learner's professional and personal aspirations.
There are millions of children in school, but they're not learning.
One of the biggest opportunities in education over the next 5 to 10 years is the changes in delivery that we've seen, where every individual will be able to access individualized education for them without relying on traditional institutions. So really it's up to the individual to frame their own education now.
The student too often is the last constituent that's taken into account. There's such a strong emphasis on teaching to the test that some of these softer skills, which are foundational for success on the test, are seen as somehow less important.
If we look at the skills gap, the kinds of things that employers are looking for is the ability to collaborate. Many technologies are meant to teach using a cognitive approach. Increasingly, we're seeing technologies that also focus on socio-emotional skills.
These are really different character-based skills and traits that are oftentimes hard to quantify. The New Vision for Education project really is helping to shine a light on the soft skills that are needed for development of students across the world, to figure out how these skills are measured, how they're taught, and different ways we can use technology to develop them.
There's part of knowledge that you cannot actually put in digital format because it will be part of the learning process of meeting someone, and that part will be the one that will differentiate you from other people.
Children learn better when they learn with a peer with whom they're friends. I'm interested in technology that makes a bond with students and that uses that social bond to improve the educational atmosphere.
There's narrative, there's multimedia, there are interactive capabilities, there's assessment.
The question today is how do we use all this available knowledge to develop new ventures and to create new jobs? What we are doing now in Brazil is going to the human resource department, the companies, so we can matchmaking with the course that we provide, like how to work in groups, creativity, project management, soft skills.
What we'd really like to see in the future is a change not just from the employer but from almost every stakeholder in education, where it's not the degree or where the knowledge was obtained that matters, but it's the skill level and those particular skills that were obtained and the way that students showed those skills.
It will require the collaboration and partnership by all the stakeholders. That only is possible with a very powerful leadership.
Enabling more students to go through higher education is just a social benefit that's incredibly important.
The new generation will be much smarter.
So welcome back. I hope that you enjoyed those video clips, and they were very motivating, and also they provided a glimpse of future classrooms. And you have also seen some of the schools which are actually they are in fact starting those humble beginnings that can lead to our future schools, which are going to incorporate technology like never before. And one thing I must mention is that you may have felt that perhaps our country, it lacks resources and we won't be able to achieve this level of advancement for decades to come. But let me tell you that we have to change this attitude. Things can change. We can start our humble beginnings, and these humble beginnings will open the doors for more advancements. All we have to do is to just start working on things, start contributing. Each person must see how much they are contributing, what are their contributions. For instance, you have you are the students of final semester. So if I ask you a question that how much you have contributed to your field, you have been given a chance to study this field, you have been provided knowledge all along, so how much you have contributed. So that's what you have to see. If you have done nothing yet, then you have to see how and when and in what ways you can contribute. And especially when you will be in the market and starting your careers, you'll have to be more innovative and you'll have to see how much you can contribute. Let me remind you of a story you may have studied in your intermediate. Its title was Reward, and it was about a person who wanted to create the post of royal acrobat, and it took him his entire life to convince his court that this position was important, and finally this post was created when he was old. So it took him years and years to convince the authorities. So same thing applies to all of us. If we wish to achieve something in our life, if we wish to contribute something, and that something is very unique and demanding, so all we have to do is stick to it and we'll have what we want to. So next, I am going to provide you a video clip. It's a kind of tutorial on modern online tools that can help you bring technology in your classrooms. And in fact, our goal is to create advanced, less expensive, and simple instructional materials. As you have seen in your discussion on language teaching methods and approaches, instructional materials are basically audiovisual aids or any real-life things that you wish to incorporate into your students' tasks or activities. For instance, you may have seen in the lecture I provided on communicative language teaching in action. There are activities, for instance, simulation activities and other activities which require the incorporation of technology. Students were provided something on their computers or cell phones. So these tools can be used that way, although they are online, but as you know that our students, all of them nowadays, they have cell phones with them, and we have computer labs, and also you may have observed that our students, they have access to laptops more than ever. Now they have, most of them, they have their personal laptops thanks to our laptop schemes and advancements of technology in Pakistan. So our students, they are now in a position to access technology. They can bring those things into their classrooms, and thus those online tools can be used through their cell phones or laptops or tablets. And in this way, these apps can be used. Plus, they can be used for their homework. For instance, you can create quizzes, online quizzes, and students can and these quizzes can be for their homework activities. And plus you will see that online quizzes, they for instance, you can use Google to create questionnaires and other. For instance, there is an app with there are several apps that can create quizzes and puzzles and other such tests, and you will never have to use the old ways of administering tests, in which precious time is just dedicated to the test, and then there is a hectic task of checking them. So these online tools, they can provide quizzes, plus they also check those their marks. For instance, there are Google questionnaires, and they can be used for quizzes. And once the student has attempted the quiz, the system automatically checks all of the answers, and the results are in front of the students within seconds. So teacher won't have to just spare time for each and every student to check them. So the teacher will be having grades right in front of him. So I have provided you a tutorial of some tools, of course not all of them. And once I have provided you an insight into the future of or the importance of these modern online tools, in future you will be able to access more and learn more than these. So there are some benefits. They are easily accessible. They can be used for classroom, also for homework. They are less time consuming. As I told you that teachers, they spend hours and hours on marking the tests and constructing the test. So this is just hectic and time wasting activity, and the result is that sometimes we simply administer a test and it is never marked, so students, they never learn about their grades. So this thing can be cured with these online tools. Teacher will have to just create an online test during his or her free time, so the class time won't be used and it will be saved for further learning. And students, they can attempt those tests during their for instance, they can be as their homework. For instance, in the evening or at night, they can attempt those tests, and the system will automatically check them, and the grades will be right in front of them. So this old method of administering tests can be, we can get rid of it. So let me tell you that the future you just saw in the schools, modern schools in Europe and France, you just watch them in those video clips. They're possible in Pakistan too. All we have to do is to be innovative, adopt new technology, let go of our fear, and we will achieve those targets. You may have seen that that we never imagined that there will be a time we will be teaching and learning online, but here we are right now. In the beginning, our students, they complained a lot. They said we don't have access to internet, we don't have things, we can't just work with this online system. But you can see that they are adjusting, they are adopting, and they are doing well. And in fact, in future, when we'll go back to our institutions, back to our learning in the classroom, we are going to miss this opportunity, this platform, this environment. So we are in a position to teach you more and in a much better way. For instance, here I am providing you various video clips that it wasn't possible earlier, although it is possible with the help of online tools. So I have been doing this in my previous classes as well, and you can do this in your future classrooms too. So let's have a look at how and what are the modern online tools that you can use for language teaching. So let's watch the video.
In this video clip, we are going to have a look at 10 amazing educational technologies that are available to us online. Our first tool is going to be No Hands app. That's the link we're looking for, No Hands eHeidi. What No Hand app is initially is a random student selector. Once you land on the No Hands home screen, you will see a quick intro or what the app looks like. And it's really simplistic. This is what I like about No Hands app, is because it doesn't take a lot of space on your screen. It's just a small tray that it can customize. What it does basically, once you tap on the tray, it will select a student from your class. What it enables you to do is to have your students engaged. You can click on this tool and a student, a random name will pop up. It's called No Hands because basically it eliminates a need for you to ask students to raise their hands. If you would like to learn how to customize this tool, how to import your class name list, I will be doing an in-depth tutorial which I will link in the description. Moving on to the next tool, it's really powerful in terms of organizing your workflow. It's Google Classroom. Once you sign into the Google Classroom and create your class, you will be able to manage the workflow. You'll be able to see your students to assign quizzes, assign assignments, assign materials, to collect those assignments, grade them all in one place. This will be a storage for different materials for your students to access. So instead of sharing links, everything will be stored in one place in your Google Classroom, simplifying and streamlining your workflow. All right, moving on to our third tool, which is going to be Plickers. Yeah, Plickers. That's the tool you're looking for, plickers.com. You create a question for your audience to answer. And once you post this question on the board, all the audience needs to have is this Plicker card. Your students don't have to have laptops or iPads or anything really. Each student will have his or her own QR code. Students will show their cards. You scan it with your phone. You will be able to see the data right away, or you can go to score sheets. You can go back and see that. The tool does not require any technology apart from the projector and your phone and, well, those cards. Tool number 4 going to be Padlet. Padlet.com. Padlet is a collaborative workspace for your students, which enables you to create a Padlet. A Padlet is basically a wall. You can choose between different designs. I prefer Canvas. What Padlet does initially, it creates a wall. Let's name it New Wall. You can customize colors, everything, but for the sake of time, I'm not going to do that. You're going to start post. What did you learn today? Once you've done that, once you share this with the students will start answering your question. It's a social tool. They are able to see each other answers in your post. You can embed video clips, you can post links as a way to engage students in sharing their thoughts in a virtual space. If you would like to learn more about how to begin with the Padlet, the link to the in-depth tutorial will be in the description. Right, so moving on to our next tool, Socrative. Socrative.com, a platform for summative or formative assessment. Really easy to use. I'm just going to demonstrate. After you log in as a teacher, you will land on your home screen where you will be creating quizzes. Best part, once you assign the quiz you've created to the students, you can see the real data. So once students are answering, you can see on your phone or on your computer the real data. Help students who are not doing well or see students who are doing too quickly. You can assign a more challenging task. Available on your phone, or you can launch it from your computer. Everything is in there. Really smart way to go about your grading. There are short answers as well, so it's not only multiple choice, short answers as well, but you will have to mark them yourself. Actually, no, sorry, don't take my word for it. You can, the Socrative can mark short answers as well. Now, moving on, we go into Nearpod, nearpod.com. All right, Nearpod is, I think, brilliant tool in putting lessons together. You know how sometimes you have a PowerPoint you want to show to the class, you have another video they want to watch, you have something else, you have quiz maybe, and all those things in different places. What Nearpod allows you to do is to create one seamless lesson. You put all those things in one lesson. You can add content from the web, you can add your own content like a PowerPoint or whatever you use, but then the beautiful part about Nearpod is that you can embed in your class all those activities like open-ended question, matching pairs, quizzes, polls and stuff. You can do a live lesson which you control, or you can do a student-paced lesson, so students just go through your lesson through all those activities you've created at their own pace. If you're doing a students-paced lesson as a teacher, you can see what students are doing, whether they are on task or not. On one hand, you provide autonomy for students to go ahead and do what they want, but on the other hand, you still have this element of control. So that was Nearpod. The next tool we're going to have a look at is going to be EdPuzzle.com. Once you set up your account in EdPuzzle, you will land on your home screen. And what EdPuzzle is, it's a tool that enables you to work with video clips. I just want to show you a little example. This is a clip on Day in Life of Ancient Athenian. Those gray marks here are questions. Once students watch the video clip, a question will pop up. They will need to, well, in this case, they need to select a couple. I haven't watched the video clip, so I'm just gonna guess it. That shows them the correct answer. They can rewatch, skip, or continue, and so it goes. It's just a beautiful tool to have to enhance video clips, not just simply project them on this overhead projector and have students watch, but instead you can embed questions. Beautiful tool. I'll be doing an in-depth tutorial as well. The link will be in the description. Right, moving on to the next one. Okay, actually next two are going to be tools for classroom management. So the first one we're going to have a look at is called Class Dojo. It lends itself especially well to elementary and middle school students, not so much for high school. What Class Dojo does, creates little avatars like you see here for students. When students accomplish work or they demonstrate behavior you want them to demonstrate, you can assign points to them, and that incentivizes the learning process, getting points for being on task or whatever rules you set up in your classroom, and then they can spend those points. Some teachers set up token economy where they earn those points, but then they can spend those points on getting classroom privileges like changing a seat. It's down to you how you set up your token economy. But what Class Dojo does for you as a teacher, it enables you to create classroom management, and then you can connect it to the families, share what students are doing on a regular basis. There's a parent connect. You can control it with your phone entirely. There are a lot of tools that are embedded in Class Dojo, like classroom timer, voice meter, random student selector. There are a lot of tools there. Another class management tool, a bit more sophisticated than Class Dojo, but still pretty cool stuff. It's called Classcraft.com. Classcraft invites students to create their character inside your class, and they will be leveling up. Great way to gamify your classroom, bring this gamification factor into your instructions. You can create quests the students complete, they get points, they can buy pets, they can customize their characters, the entire ecosystem that you create inside your class. Again, you can only use the limited version of Classcraft, just assign those points, have the students level up, but you can also go as far as to gamifying your entire lesson and curriculum. And there are a lot of resources on Classcraft web page that will guide you through the process. If you've done Class Dojo, you're looking for something else, something more exciting, this is a tool for you to try out. All right, finally, tool number 10, and thank you if you haven't quit, thank you for bearing with me till the end, Minecraft Education. If you're not familiar with Minecraft at all, Minecraft started out as a game, but it made its way into education, and right now we are fortunate enough to have an official Minecraft Education Edition, which has features specifically geared to classroom use. It's much easier to use Minecraft Education Edition rather than simple Minecraft. But anyways, what Minecraft is essentially is a game that is so versatile, is so creative. They call them sandbox games. Basically, it means that it's a sandbox, and within this game you can do whatever you want with the resources available. In Minecraft case, blocks. So the entire world is made up of blocks, and students can create, they can solve problems, they can do, whatever you design them to do inside the Minecraft. We've used Minecraft for science, math, language arts, a lot of things, and this is just a couple of examples that demonstrate what students can do. If you've never seen, played, experienced Minecraft, that will not make much sense to you, but to kind of give you an idea of what the students are doing, they're solving problems together, either creating a storyline or solving a math problem or doing an art project within a Minecraft world. And you as a teacher have overall control over the world. You host this world and students connect from their devices to this world. So it's a multiplayer experience, and that's what makes Minecraft so powerful, because they are interacting with each other within one world, either on problem or creative story writing. There's literally no limit to what you can do with Minecraft. That's why if you go to the Minecraft Education website, you will see so many resources on math, computer science, and some teachers go to great length creating those beautiful worlds. You can download those worlds. It's an open source. So there's an alignment with a Common Core curriculum, innovative source, talking about 21st century skills, critical thinking, problem solving, innovation. Everything is in there. Everything is in Minecraft. Strongly encourage you to find a person, a community, a tech integration specialist in your school, in your building, who will show you the ropes or start learning it yourself. I'll be doing a series of in-depth tutorials on Minecraft as well, and I'll link them in the description to this video clip. So let's wrap up really quickly. The first thing we looked at was No Hands, a random student selector, really easy to use, the simplest tool you can imagine, but really, really powerful. I'll be doing a tutorial on how to set it up a bit later. The second tool we looked at was a Google Classroom. Beautiful and simple tool. Streamline your grading, streamline how you share resources with students. Really nice tool once you get a handle on it. The third tool we looked at was Plickers, a low-tech yet really powerful tool to get formative assessment data, to create questions, get feedback. The fourth tool we had a look at was a Padlet workspace for your students to answer questions, collaborate. We looked at Socrative as well as a way to get formative, summative data, creating exit tickets, creating quizzes, and having an overview, a live overview of what the students are doing. Nearpod was the next tool where we talked about putting all the materials together in one cohesive lesson, and then either doing a live stream or teacher-paced or student-paced, embedding all of those formative assessment, different activities, collaboration boards, discussion boards, all in one place. Everything is in there. It's EdPuzzle, which enables you to embed questions in the video clips. Works beautifully for any grade level. Class Dojo and Classcraft both serve the same purpose of incentivizing their learning by giving points, giving some rewards to the students. But Class Dojo, less learning curve will be for you as a teacher. It's very simple to use. Classcraft, on the other hand, is much more advanced, much more versatile. A lot of learning on your part should happen before you start, but also once you get to grips with the Classcraft, you will see the rewards. You will see the engagement level skyrocket on behalf of students. You will see a lot of things in a different way. Finally, we looked at Minecraft. It brings together critical thinking, collaboration, all those buzzwords we hear all the time, and a strong community as well, strong support community. If you get started, it looks a bit complicated, especially if you haven't played games before. It might be a bit daunting, but once you start learning, once you start step by step, it's a learning curve, but there's a lot of resources that are available. Oh yeah, that's it for today. These were 10 tools to help you integrate technology into your classroom. There will be in-depth tutorials that follow if you would like to explore any of those tools in more depth. Also, leave a comment, let me know which tools do you use in your classroom and which tools you would like me to feature in the future. Yeah, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Feel free to subscribe if you like the content I produce. Come back for more EdTech video clips. See you later. Bye-bye.
So welcome back. I hope that you enjoyed the video clip. And as I have told you earlier, these are not all of the online tools. There are only some of them. There are plenty of others that I hope that you will search for on your own. So these are some of the tools that you can use in your classrooms. So I hope that you will be innovative enough to use them in your regular classrooms, not just online classrooms. As I told you earlier, that they can facilitate your learning. They can help you with your instructional materials. Instructional materials are basically audiovisual aids and all the real life instructional materials that you wish to use for your classroom activities and tasks. So these tools can help you. For instance, I gave you an example that how they can help you with tests. They can help to construct tests and then administer them without consuming much of your time. So that's all for my discussion on this topic. I hope that it will be helping, and I have provided you enough motivation to to be in a position to help your future classrooms, to direct your future classroom towards technologically advanced and much more advanced, and this way they will be increasing the understanding of a student's learning and then their retention. So I hope that I have successfully provided you the motivation which is necessary to stimulate you towards your work towards this direction. So far as our upcoming lectures are concerned, I have enlisted the topics for upcoming lectures. So these topics will be covered in the upcoming lectures, and I have just I have taken them from the course outline, and I have taken just the main topics. There are subtopics as well, which I haven't mentioned. Your lectures will be covering them. So next I will be providing you lectures on syllabus design, and we will be discussing these topics in our upcoming lectures, and that's all. They are the remaining topics from your course outline. So I hope that they are going to be interesting as other lectures have been. So that's all for now. If you have any questions, do let me know, and I hope that your attitude, your views towards incorporation of technology into language teaching must have changed, or I have been successful to stimulate you towards that. If I have really achieved my goal, then I'm very happy, and I hope that you are going to play your important role in the development of our educational system. So I wish you best of luck for your future teaching, and that's all for this lecture. Take care of yourself. Allah Hafiz.